Hi, I'm Tonya, and this little fella is Stuart, and we are so glad you clicked that play button because we have a lot to share with you today. But I think I need to take this little fella and give him something else to do so that I can chat with you. So now that puppy Stuart is busy on an enrichment toy, let's get chatting about bringing your new foster or adopted Cavalier home. It's going to be an exciting journey, but there's definitely some challenges that you're going to face. So today I just wanted to kind of go over some of those challenges and hopefully give you some tips and solutions so that you and your Cavalier or your foster Cavalier can have the best success possible. But first, I'd like to introduce myself and share a few highlights of my journey in the dog world. So I started my career almost 30 years ago in an animal shelter. Not long after, I had the opportunity to relocate to work with a service dog organization where I spent 3 amazing years training rescued golden retrievers and Labradors to become mobility dogs. That's also where I met Theo, a golden retriever puppy I then adopted. Over the course of Theo's life, he developed some severe issues such as dog aggression, thunder phobia, noise phobia, and separation anxiety. And because of Theo and what I was trying to learn to help him be successful in life, my path started to change. Instead of focusing on service dog training, my heart started to go towards more behavioral issues. So that's when my path changed from the service dog industry to the pet home dog training industry. And that's where I taught group dog training classes and also offered private instruction as well for both puppies and behaviorally challenged dogs. And over time, my work expanded to other areas of both dogs and cats. After Theo's passing in 2009, that's when I welcomed my first Cavalier, Dexter. Dexter was truly my heart dog, and we shared a wonderful 15 years together before he crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Now I have Stuart by my side, who's currently about 8 months old, and he's a rescue, and he's been with me today 3 months. I also have 3 YouTube channels, 2 blogs, online courses for training and wellness, and a Facebook group for Cavalier families. I also offer phone and Skype services to support you and your dog. And just to make things interesting, I also have a Cavalier themed gift shop. And now I'm teaming up with the Greater Chicago Cavalier Rescue to support both foster families and newly adopted dogs. My goal is to help you in any way that I can to offer guidance and support throughout your journey. So today I thought I'd offer a few tips for when you bring your new foster home or your newly adopted Cavalier. I want to set you up for success, so today I want to cover some of the main things that might be a little struggling point for you. So let's get started. So before bringing your Cavalier even into your home, there's a few things that you can do to start that success process. And the first thing is puppy proof. Even if you're fostering or rescuing an adult dog, puppy proofing is going to be your friend. You might not think about it, but it's really important to look at your home from your Cavalier's point of view. And that means checking for anything that could be chewed on, knocked over, and securing areas where you don't want your Cavalier to roam. Even adult Cavaliers can get into mischief, so take a few minutes to make sure everything is safe. Because we want things to be happy. We don't want to be yelling at our Cavalier, "Give me that, what are you doing? You shouldn't be there, don't chew that." So I always just assume that all the new dogs coming in are going to be little troublemakers. So I want to make sure that those things are out of sight. Don't worry, it's only going to be temporary. There's going to be a time when you start to bring those things back out and it's no big deal. But we want to make those first few days and weeks and even months happy and successful and less stress. The next thing we want to do is involve the whole family. Who lives in the home? Who's going to be doing what? Who's going to be feeding? Who's going to be potty training? Who's going to take them for walks? Who's going to be playing? What's everyone's roles? Because if we have a clear understanding of who's doing what, it won't be so chaotic. And it won't be like, "I thought you were grooming him. I thought you were brushing his teeth." It'll be smooth sailing. And if needed, you can even post a little piece of paper on the refrigerator on who does what or what days we do what. Next, be ready with your supplies. What does my Cavalier need? Do I have the brushes? Do I have his food? Do I have his bowl? Do I have his toys? Get those things all prepared and ready to go so that you're not scrambling at trying to get him something to do. And if you haven't already, find a local vet, give them a call, say, I'm bringing home a new Cavalier. I'd like to have a meet and greet just to get to know you so that they can say hello, get some treats, and have a good experience. And the little squeaking you might be hearing, that's Stuart. He's running around with a chew that he's really excited about, and he's trying to bury it. So again, puppies, trying to keep him active while I have this conversation. It's real life, it's real things going on. And the scratching is also him, again, trying to bury his chew. Now it's time to bring your Cavalier home. The first thing that we want to remember is that they're probably going to be a bit shell-shocked. What's their history? Did they come from a backyard breeder, a puppy mill? Were they happy and content in their home, but now they're going to a foster family, or they've been to the foster family and now they're going to your new home? What's their history? Because now they're going to be like, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. This is my third home, my fourth home, my fifth home. Life was really rough in the beginning, or life was really good, but now who are you? So we want to give them that opportunity to kind of decompress and to have patience with them. Don't expect them to be able to do everything, go for walks, be a polite walker, not jumping, being part of the family right away. They're going to be a little bit shocked. So in rescue and dog training circles, we often say the power of threes. 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. And basically, it's just kind of a simple guideline on how dogs adjust. So those first 3 days, shell shock. They don't know what's going on. Where am I? What's happening? They might not eat. They might not play. They might be a little nervous. They're just trying to figure things out. We want to be patient and kind and let them decompress. Give them the space they need. Don't feel like you need to get in there and snuggle with them and pet with them. If they feel like they kind of want to just think about things, let them think about things. Use a soothing voice. You can toss some treats if you want, but take the pressure off. Often we put so much pressure on them, come say hello, let me do this, whatever. But a lot of times if we just kind of sit back and just let them, there's Stuart moving the camera, let them kind of do their own thing, we'll have better success. And this can actually be the same case even with puppies. Even if we have a puppy who's been to a great breeder and then he goes to his first new home, they're still in that shell shock because they're used to what their life was before. I think about Dexter. Dexter came from a really good breeder, and those first 3 days, he was quiet, he played, but it was low key, he was a good puppy, and my mom kept saying, wow, he's so good, he's so quiet, and he was, and I just kept saying, just wait, and sure enough, around day 3, he's like, woohoo, I'm a puppy, zoom, 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 zoom. Now, they all won't act just like that, but that's kind of what kind of happens with them. So we can kind of expect that might happen. After those first 3 days of decompressing, they start to kind of unwind a little bit. Then we start to have 3 weeks. And around the 3-week point, they go, okay, I'm kind of getting my groove on. I'm starting to feel a little more secure. Maybe I'm starting to play. I'm enjoying my walks a little more. If I have doggy siblings, I'm getting used to them. Maybe cat siblings. So they're starting to decompress and start to kind of understand, more of what's going on. And then by 3 months, kind of like Stuart, it usually gels. They're like, okay, I'm in my home now. I feel comfortable. I feel happy. I'm starting to feel more secure. I know that this is where I'm staying. Now, that said, this is something to really be aware of, especially for our foster families, because you're getting them in. They're starting to go through that transition with you, and then we may stop and then move them on again. So then again, we have that other step. So new parents, think about that too. They're adjusting, they're getting comfortable, and then boom, their life changes again. So there's a lot going on with the rescue, and we really need to understand that, they might not quite be the best perfect dog at that moment. They really need to decompress and to get comfortable with life. So give them a little bit of slack and be really relaxed with them and gentle with them. Now there's some things that when we do bring them into our homes, whether it's a foster or newly adopted dog, that I do start right away. And that's one, potty training. Teaching them to go potty outside. Now we might not know their history. If they've been a puppy mill dog, they may have gone to the bathroom in their crate. They may have eaten their poop. They're stepping in their poop. They don't know how to go to the bathroom outside. So we may even get those dogs that, are like grass. Poof. And they flat out like a pancake. They don't know what to do. We want to make sure that we're gentle and kind with them. And when we're bringing them in, if you know anything about their history, you can kind of try to mimic that. And I'm not saying put them in a cage, but just kind of remember maybe they've gone to the bathroom, if it's in a cage, on the metal, maybe cement would be a good thing to walk on. That might be a good thing. Where most dogs, are used to going to the bathroom on grass. Well, if that's not the case with your dog, you might try to potty them on cement. And once again, bringing in that new dog, I do also think of them as a puppy. So that means we go outside a lot. Every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes. I want to have my dog be successful. And for puppies and rescues, I also think eyeballs on. I want to know where they are, what they're doing, so that I can make sure that we're getting out often enough and that they aren't having those mistakes. I want to be successful. I want to set them up for success. So when you first take them outside, let them sniff around, let them, check things out. Remember, they need to decompress. Same thing goes for pottying, so that might not happen right away. You can also think about using a long leash, so a 15-foot leash, a 10-foot leash, maybe a 20-foot leash. That way they feel a little more comfortable about being away from you, so that they don't feel like, oh, there's the pressure, I'm getting stared at. So just kind of letting them have a longer leash and kind of, looking at things and doing things at their own pace. Once they've gone to the bathroom, you can tell them how smart they are. You may need to keep the praise kind of low key if they're intimidated. You don't want to get them scared. You can give them a treat right away. And then the next thing I do is I think about, what do they want? Do they want to hang out outside? If so, then I don't want to rush them back into the house after they've gone to the bathroom, because that, even though I gave them a treat, that's going to be a bit of a punishment. So if they want to be outside after I give them a treat, then I'll let them sniff outside. Let them investigate. Let them do those things. Now on the flip side, if they're uncomfortable and they'd rather come back inside the house, then go ahead and bring them inside the house. Some dogs, like Stuart, tend to potty a little bit at a time, and a lot of times this is because they're a little nervous and they're kind of, checking things out, so they might do a little tinkle and, kind of moving around and doing a little tinkle. So do make sure they've emptied their bladder. So if you've taken them outside, they've gone to the bathroom, and then they've gone to the bathroom inside the house, that might be the case. You want to make sure that they're getting all of that out. So I talked about having a long leash for potty training, but some Cavaliers have never actually been on a leash before, and this can be a whole new experience. And if that's the case for your Cavalier, then I do recommend practicing and training inside your house as much as you can and as much as your Cavalier is comfortable with, to teach them that the leash is good. Because if they've never been on a leash before or haven't been on one often, and you attach that leash and there's that pressure and they can't get away and they kind of spaz out on a leash, that can be a whole big ordeal. So what you can do is you can bring that leash into the house just on the floor. Let them investigate it, give them a treat if they like their treats, tell them how smart they are, and just start to teach them that the leash is a safe thing. It doesn't mean I'm going to attach it to you, you're going to feel that pressure and not be able to move around. Get them comfortable with the leash. 1 day, 2 days, I don't know. Depends on your Cavalier, depends on how often that you practice it. Then what you can do is you can pick up that leash. So they're there hanging out, the leash is on the floor, you pick it up, tell them how smart they are, give them a treat, so that they start getting used to the process of picking up the leash. You want to think about things going nice and slow so they're not uncomfortable about things. Picking it up, giving them a treat. Practice that a little bit. These lessons can go fast or they can take a while. Depends on your Cavalier. Then what you can do is go, all right, now I need to work on attaching this leash. So you can do a couple things. If they happen to be comfortable about putting their harness on, you can attach their leash to their harness before you put it on. So that's one way you can do it. If not, and you already have their harness on, then what I like to do is I can take some treats or a licky mat, put it on the ground, let my Cavalier, lick it and that sort of thing, get those treats, and then snap it on the back, and then I give them a treat again. Then what I want to do is, okay, I got the leash on, but I don't want that tension and that running and woohoo, I'm so scared, what's going on? I just start treating. So the leash is on. My goal is to keep that leash slack and loose so that it's not tight. I'm not one to usually have the leash dragging around because that dragging around can scare them. On the flip side, if this is a really hard thing for you to do, then what I would recommend is you can get like a 12-inch little leash tag that you can have attached to the back of the harness, but you might be able to attach the hanging part, with some Velcro on the top so that it's attached and then Velcro, because again, we want to think about our Cavalier. If they're flopping around a leash tag and that makes them nervous, then that's not going to be a good thing. But if they're comfortable about that, then great. And that leash tag would give you a little more opportunity to be able to kind of grab them as needed. But again, our main goal is to get them on a regular 6-foot leash. So we can have that regular leash attached in the house, gives them some treats, walk around. You can even do a find it where you toss the treat and they go go get it and eat it. You're still holding the leash, but you're going with them. So again, we don't have the tension. You toss the treat and give them a treat, let them sniff, go check it out, treat. So that now they're kind of moving around the house with the leash. You're holding the leash, and again, no tension, and you can work your way outside. Again, we want to keep that leash as loose as possible so that we don't feel that tension and get nervous and skittish about things. Now, if your Cavalier completely pancakes out when you do any of these things, then that's fine. Just go ahead and give them the treats. You're just going to go at a slower pace. You can even give them a lick mat down there. See if you can have them lure to a stand every once in a while to kind of get them to move. But we again, don't want to have that pressure. Try not to have that physical and mental pressure on them because that's when they kind of shut down. We just want to make sure that that's nice and comfortable and relaxing and a good experience for them. But that's where I start. The last tip I have for you is we want to make sure that we're keeping things fun and positive and probably slow for your Cavalier. We want to make sure that they feel happy and secure and they're not afraid that something bad's going to happen. So no no's, no eh-ehs, no wrongs. We want to set them up for success. We don't want to put all that negativity into their life. They've had enough. We want to make things gentle and happy and successful and bring that confidence out in them, which is why that puppy proofing and knowing who's going to do what will set them up for that success so that hopefully we don't feel the need to be like frustrated with them. We want to try to cut down our frustration. When I used to teach group classes, one of the homework assignments I had for my first week of class with students is what I ask the students is if there's something in their life and their situation that's really irritating to them, is there a way that they can stop it from happening? How can I manage that situation so it doesn't happen? Because that's the first step is what can I do to kind of prevent that behavior from happening? And then my next step is then going in with training. But let's see about what we can do to actually prevent it. Puppy gates, management, leashing to you if they're comfortable with the leash, divide and conquer. I'm a big divide and conquer kind of girl. So if we have like lots of dogs or cats and things like that, and it seems like chaos, how can I divide it? They don't all have to be out in the same room together. Can I split this dog up with over here? Can I use their crate if they're comfortable, not overdoing it, but so that I can kind of make things successful for our dogs. Those are some of the things that, look for. How can I stop this behavior right now and give them time to decompress and get comfortable? And then we'll look at training. If I'm barking at the window, can I prevent the window? Can I block them from that room? Can I put the blind down? Can I put window clings on the window? Think about how can I prevent the behavior from happening while my Cavalier adjusts, and then we'll look into training. Now, if your Cavalier seems comfortable and eager and ready to kind of do things and he's loosened up a little bit, you can do some positive training at your home. You can do some tricks and some confidence boosting games, teach him, 2 paws up, teach him to spin in a circle, teach him sit, teach him eye contact. And by the way, when you do eye contact, eyes are good. Teaching them to look at you is a good thing. So have light, happy eyes, a smile on your face. It's not a reprimand. We want them to want to look at our face. So again, there's that confidence, making them feel happy and secure. But those are things that you can do to help boost that confidence as well. Lots of enrichment, licky mats, throwing the treats around, find it games, using their nose. You can find different things for them to sniff. You have little sniff jars for like scent work, but you can put other things in it. You don't have to think about scent work. You can put leaves in it, you can put feathers in it, you can put it around the house, just kind of let them sniff and have a good time. That's really good for our Cavaliers, especially at the beginning stages of bringing them in. And I want to make it very clear that I'm here for you. I truly am approachable. All you need to do is send me a message below. You can join our private Cavalier Facebook group where we have lots of enrichment and training ideas in there. It's all positive. There's no drama inside there. I want you and your Cavalier to be happy. I want you guys to have a good life with them. I mean, that's what we want. We bring in these dogs and these Cavaliers into our lives because we want them to be part of our lives. And sometimes it might not go just like you had hoped it would. You might find some challenges along the way. Stuart, we're working with some separation anxiety, but we're going to get through that. So don't forget, I do have my free resources like my 3 YouTube channels, my 2 blogs, and I do offer both Skype and phone consultations. So if you want to take a deeper dive and to see what's going on with your Cavalier, we'll talk about their history, talk about your home, see how we can set them up to be successful. And I know I use that word a lot, but it's true. We really want them to be successful because then things are good. If we set them up for success, we can work on that training plan and get there. And I am in the process of relaunching my online dog training and wellness courses. And of course, there's always a little bit of Cavalier flair inside those as well. So make sure you check those out. And a huge thank you for bringing in these amazing dogs into your home. Whether you're fostering or adopting, or our foster families tend to do both, you're really making a difference in their lives. And take it one day at a time. The journey and the process is really worth it in the end. Thank you for letting me be part of this journey with you. And until next time, take care.